I've been dropped here in the jungle, and it's been several minutes, and this is simulating what it's like to be dropped randomly anywhere in northeast Missouri. Now what I'm gonna try and do is hack my way out of this jungle and get some bearing on where I am, and I'll show you how to survive in such a situation. So I'm gonna use my pocket knife, and this is what's gonna get me out of here. And I'm out. Let's see where we are. It's very definite for climbing such obstacles like this. You gotta get a firm foot and just throw your leg over. Like so. From up here, I've got the lay of the land set out, and I can see there's a lot of traffic about, a lot of trees and dense area. The buildings here lead me to believe we're on some sort of campus, which is not good for me. This is not good at all. Come here, come in close. We're here at Truman State, which is one of the most deadly regions of northeast Missouri. I've heard tales coming for years about sailors being stranded in Truman, and they have no place to go. People haven't survived, literally, on their children's organs before they can find a way out. And you can see here the names of those people that have been killed in just the past month and a half. We're gonna have to be very careful, but I'm gonna show you how to survive. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do when you get here is find a plentiful source of food. And luckily, we've got one right up here. It's a northeastern Missouri squirrel, and they're very, very tricky. But if you know how, you can pick them up, and they're a great source of protein. Now, what I'm going to do is try and move up behind them. And, oh, we got another one coming from right here. This one looks a little bit younger, maybe a little less experienced. But what I'm going to do is keep my eye on him. And I'm going to take my pocket knife. I'm going to fashion a small spear out of this stick. Done. Spear's done. Now we're going to move towards the squirrel very, very slowly. This part's very important. I've heard tons of stories about people trying to rush their squirrel assaults, and they just never work out. As you can see, the bugger was just a little too quick, but I've sustained a major injury on my hand in the case. I'm gonna have to find a way to heal this before it gets infected and falls off. To get this from being infected, I'm gonna need to find a natural antiseptic, and this is what we've got right here. You're gonna want to get these little bits right here and rub it right in there. But as you can see, this is a very bad spot. It's clearly poisons coming up from the ground. It's killed part of this bush. So we're gonna move over to a safer spot. This looks much better. And we're just gonna take this from right here, and we're gonna rub it in the wound. Just like this. Now many parts of the world, they'll tell you not to rub dirt in the wound. They don't know what they're talking about. ManBearPig says rub dirt in the wound, and it just feels great. We're not going to be able to survive here very long unless we get ourselves some shelter. Now I'm going to show you how to make a very easy and basic shelter that'll just get you through the day and hopefully give you a chance to get out of here. First thing I'm going to do is collect up as much of these sticks and small bits of wood as we can, and then we're going to pull out bits of grass as lashing material, and we're just going to tie them together like so. And after just a bit more lashing, we put this final piece on, and we have our shelter. And a shelter will not keep you dry in the worst of storms, but it's better than nothing. It's about midday here, and the temperatures are well over 200 degrees Celsius, so I'm gonna take my siesta. I'll see you in a bit. We've got to get across this road. It's very dangerous on this side. We've already encountered several squirrels, but we have to find the right way to get across, because I've heard many stories about travelers who have come across roads like this and they're just swept up by the current of cars. So what I'm going to try to do now is find myself a tree or a cliff or some other large structure so I can see this road and see how to get out of here. And right now, that tree right there looks like a winner. We'll head over to that. Fantastic. You can see from the bark, this is a very old tree, and it's quite lovely. I'm going to take out my pocket knife now. And there were a lot of stories about early settlers who came into this area and would chip off pieces of the branch and actually use them. It's a primitive form of prophylactic. The jungle girls in Kirksville are hussies. They have AIDS. So you gotta keep this right here. And see this? This is what I'm talking about right here. I'm gonna take this and I'm just gonna mash it around a bit, and I'm gonna rub it on my junk. And that's gonna keep the majority of STDs out of my pants. But now, to climb up this tree. What I'm gonna try and do is put my foot on the lower end of the trunk region, which we call the trunculum in climbing, and my hands up here, and I'm gonna keep pressure. Now normally I'd have a safety line, but there's just no time. And I'm up. I can see from here there's a crosswalk and not much else, but that's going to be my best chance of getting out of here before we get attacked. So let's move. My thighs are burning, and I'm down. Alright, let's go. This right here is the crosswalk that we spotted from our tree. And as you can see, there's a huge current of cars coming across almost constantly. Cars like this come in patterns, 7 at a time. This one only had 4, but there were 3 cars buried in between. Now we're gonna look at this pattern and study it, and after a few moments we should be able to find a time when it's safe to cross. Alright, it's safe. That crossing was very dangerous. And I think to myself, a less experienced crosser would probably have been swept up in the tides. Here comes another round. Coming through, here it comes. This one is a 7 disguised as a 2. I can tell you right now, we're lucky to be alive.